Hi, and welcome to another episode of Whatever This Is. I'm your host, and yes, this counts as educational content. Somehow.
So, imagine this Mexico in the 1950s. Women were supposed to wear dresses, stay quiet, not raise their voices, and follow these rules. And then came Chabela Vargas. She smoked cigarettes, wore pants, sometimes even carried a gun, and sang love songs that were usually only sung by men. She didn't care what people thought, she just lived her truth. And that's why she became one of the most unforgettable voices in Latin American music, but more specifically in Mexico. Chabela was born in Costa Rica in 1919. When she was 17, she moved to Mexico. Her childhood was tough. Her parents didn't accept her tomboyish behavior, and she often felt like she didn't belong. But in Mexico, she found her place. By the 1950s, she was singing rancheras in Mexico City, and here's the radical part. She didn't change the pronouns in the songs. When she sang about love, she sang about women. That was basically her way of saying, "This is who I am," at a time when being openly queer was dangerous. Chabela was already breaking the rules just by standing on stage. She also had close relationships with artists like Diego Rivera and Frida Kahlo, and she later admitted she loved women. That honestly made her a queer icon, even if society wasn't ready for it back then. Her life wasn't all that glamorous. In the 1960s and 70s, she became famous across Mexico, performing in cabarets and bars. But by the 1980s, her alcoholism had taken over. She stopped performing, disappeared from the music scene, and people thought her career was finished. For years, her voice was silent. Still, her legend survived in whispers. People remember the woman who dared to sing differently, even if she wasn't on stage anymore, or at least the public eye. And then, the crazy part is that in 1991, at the age of 72, she came back. Most people retire at that age, but Chabela was just getting started again. She performed in Mexico and soon after in Spain. She became close with filmmaker Pedro Almodóvar, who helped reintroduce her to international audiences in the 1990s. Her concerts were unforgettable. She didn't sing perfectly, but she sang with her soul. Every note carried her pain, her love, and her truth. By the 2000s, she was performing at huge venues, even Carnegie Hall in New York in 2003. She went from being a forgotten singer to an international legend, and she did it without hiding who she was. Chabela wasn't just a musician, she was a rebel, a queer icon, and a symbol of authenticity. She admitted openly that she loved women, and she lived her life without apology. Her style, the pants, the poncho, the cigarettes, wasn't just fashion, it was a statement. I refuse to be what society tells me to be. She inspired generations of LGBTQ+ artists in Latin America, and her story still matters today because she showed that being yourself is the most radical act of all. She once said, "I came to Mexico to learn how to cry, and I did." And honestly, that's what her songs gave the world. Tears, but also strength. Her story shows that even if you fall, even if you disappear for years, you can rise again. And sometimes you come back even stronger. Chabela Vargas broke the rules, lived her truth, and turned her pain into music. And that's why her life changed so dramatically, and why we still remember her today.
Thank you so much for watching.